Hi everybody, Bearded Rogue here, and this is my last video for BGGCon. I say that because the only thing left to talk about is me, and I don't want to talk about me for very often, or for very long. So, what is there to talk about? Well, I brought multiple designs with me to the convention. I brought a couple of my own, or I brought several that were designed by both myself and John, Angry Tetris. I brought a couple of John's solo-only designs, I, ran them through the gamut. So let me just get started, and I'll kind of go in order by the games when I played them in the week, and we'll just talk about everything about that game and then move to the next one. So the first game, the first prototype that I played was John's prototype Busted. Busted is a pressure luck game. It shares some similarities to No Thanks, in that your actions on your turn are that you can either draw a card or you can pay to not take a card. However, the deck is a deck of 48 shapes and colors. There are 4 different colors, 4 different shapes, 3 of each card in the deck. And your goal is to not get 4 of a kind of any type. Everybody starts with 5 money total, and each time you win a round, 1 of your money becomes a victory point, so you have less money for your next rounds. If anybody gets 3 victory points, they win. I played this once during the convention while sitting in line for the first day, and it went over really well. We had a good time. It's a really easy, light game as far as the actions that you can take, but there's the decisions of when am I going to put money out there, because when I put money out there, other people get to take that money. So now they have more betting power for the rest of the round, and they could end up starving me out and forcing me to take cards. So it's very much a game where you're trying not to take cards, or trying to take cards when it's less risky for you. Like, for example, you don't have more than 2 of any shape or any color. Nothing you take is going to bust you. So you're able to take that card, but deciding when is the important part. So it's this interesting tempo and back and forth. The fact that your money pile dwindles from 5 down to 3 on the turn that you're trying to win. 3 gives you a lot less power and acts as a catch-up mechanic to kind of keep everybody in the game. All that said, the whole game plays in less than half an hour, so it's not a long game, but I really enjoy it, and I pitched it around to a couple of the publishers that I spoke to. Nobody bit, but I'm pretty confident that somewhere, sometime, that one's going to get picked up. Next game I played was Fire in the Library, and Fire in the Library is a hit. Like, people play that game and they like that game. I'm really happy with where it's at as far as design-wise goes. I pitched it to a couple of publishers. Nobody picked up on it. We'll just keep going. There was a lot of advice that I received from the publishers that I pitched it to. Some of it's stuff that I've already tried before, some of it's stuff that I haven't and that I'm going to look at. I think the biggest thing right now is that as a game, it works. It completely works. It may be a little bit mathy, and we're going to look at that a little bit, and it may need something to give it more table presence. Because right now it's a bag with cubes in it and a scoreboard, and that's not a lot to look at, and 5 cards. So it's a really small game, really easy monetary commitment from a publisher, and nobody complained about the number of components in it. But it needs just a little something. The gameplay works, and people like it, and I'm happy with that. So that's Fire in the Library. If you played any of my games, feel free to comment either on Twitter or on this video, and give me any additional feedback on anything. If you saw any of my games, I would love to hear about that. So, let's see. After Fire in the Library, I played Back to Earth. So, Back to Earth was the big game that I was showing off at Unpub, the Unpub event on Friday. I ended up playing 3 games of Back to Earth over the course of the weekend. I got very different feedback from different groups. It seemed like the people on the more casual end of the spectrum very much wanted to carry it in a more casual direction. They had some excellent feedback on how to simplify some things inside of the game that I'm going to take, but the Feldians and the heavier gamers wanted to take it even heavier in a heavier direction, and we may do a little bit of both. We may simplify some of the existing mechanisms and maybe put some more stuff into it. We'll see. As it is, it plays from start to finish. A lot of the stuff that we added since Gen Con was very well received. People loved the technology cards, starting with a unique technology card that's all yours. Helping to guide your strategy is a really cool thing. Shrinking it down from 6 decks to 4 decks was very, very well received. People liked that. People who liked it the most said that the biggest problem they had with it was that it went like 1 or 2 turns too long. So we're kind of looking at the end game and seeing if maybe there's a different way that we could trigger the end game, or just a different end game trigger, or a different way we could do our existing end game trigger that would shorten it just a little bit. Because our goal is that we want people to be able to build their engine and actually run their engine. Because a lot of games, a lot of Euro games end before you actually ever get to do the cool thing that you spent the whole game trying to do. Like, just as you get all the pieces, the game's over. And you never actually get to see your engine work. And so we want to give people some time to let their engine work, but at the same time we don't want it to be like, okay, my engine's humming, now I'm just repeating the same actions over and over again because I don't want to do anything to wreck what I have. So that's what we're looking at now, is that period of the game near the end. The beginning works, everybody was able to jump in pretty quickly. We're going to be adding player boards to the game. The player boards are completely unnecessary to play the game, but I think they would add a lot to new players' understanding of the game, and as such would allow people who are playtesting the game to focus more on the gameplay of the game and less on the mechanisms of the game and trying to figure out how to do it. Because right now it seems like it's about 2 or 3 turns, maybe as many as 5 turns into the game before it clicks in people's heads, and then they have no problems from that point forward. They're just playing the game. On a second playthrough, every player who plays the game would be would improve their score. It's pretty much guaranteed. So easing that on-ramp for new players, even if they don't end up in the final version of the game, just getting them out there so that the feedback that we get from Unpub will be better. This is the game that I am planning on bringing to Unpub in March. It's you know, I am pitching it actively even as we continue design and development work on it. Nobody picked it up. Got lots of excellent feedback from multiple directions. Just kind of figuring out what to do with that now, but I'm really excited about it because some of the comments that I got were that it really allowed players to feel clever, and that's really what I'm going for with this game. Like, I want to give people that feeling of cleverness, of them looking at all these disparate parts that are sitting out on the table and feeling clever as they put them together in their own unique way to build their own engine to win the game. So yeah, I'm so excited because a lot of the feedback shows that I'm going in the right direction with this one, and I really hope to continue that. The next game was Whether or Not. This is John's game again. Whether or Not is John's trick-taking game. Its biggest conceit is that every card has 2 numbers on it that are the flip side of each other, so 94 is also 49, for example. You can play the card as either number on your turn. Your goal is to be as close to 0 points as possible. So you're basically weather mages who are trying to manipulate the weather in your area. Unfortunately, all the other players are doing the same thing, and you're trying to make sure that their stuff doesn't mess with you too much. So every turn there's some cards that are dealt out to the table. They're either hot cards or cold cards, and they actually subtract from each other. So if you get a hot card that is a 5 and a cold card that is a 3, you're at hot 2, so you're at 2 points at the end of the round. And they can just... them canceling each other out is kind of the really cool aspect of the game, in that you'll one of the things that we added is that everybody starts with a secret card that tells them that they're either slightly hot or slightly cold. And since your goal is to try to get to 0, immediately players are going in with specific goals in mind of, I'm a little bit cold, so I want to get at least one hot card. But then it starts them on this roller coaster ride of taking cards and playing 2 tricks to get the cards that move them closer and swing their pendulum closer to 0 as they go. Like any trick-taking game, you can just play one hand, or you can play one hand equal to the number of players. That one's currently out with a publisher. It's being evaluated. I really love the game. Like, I love trick-taking games, and I think it's a very good trick-taking game. So I'm hoping that this one, I'm crossing my fingers for John, that this one gets picked up, because I think it's a really good game. I think it deserves it. I don't know if the theming will change or any of that stuff, but I really like it, and it's cool. Other than that, I brought Dice Heroes with me. However, Dice Heroes did not come out of the box. Never got a chance to play it. That's fine. It's been retooled to use D6s, and it's been simplified a lot from the version that I brought to Origins. So it still needs some more hammering here anyway. I was hoping to maybe get some additional designer eyes on it, but that just didn't happen. There wasn't time. Played too many published games, I guess. And then last but not least is my They Live game. That did not get any attention either. I did get a chance to talk to the amazing Matt Fantastic very briefly about his ideas on a They Live game, and I think they're pretty cool. I don't know how they'll jive with mine, or if they'll interact in a way that's that works for both ideas, but keep working, Matt. I need a They Live game, whether it's mine or someone else's. So, yeah, I'm excited about that one. I had some brainstorms based on other games that I played, both published and prototype, that may assist me in that game and its design and development. But overall, I had a really good time at BGGCon. It's a really good con for playing prototypes. The 11th floor of the hotel was an unpub area the whole time. There were designers there with their games, and I know that if you wanted to, you could just treat it like a second unpub. Like, you could walk in there and do nothing but play unpublished games, and even unpublished games from some of the hottest designers around. Like, I know Eric Lang tested several prototypes. Rob Davio had prototypes there. Kevin Wilson, I think I said in the other video, Kevin Wilson was testing the new scenarios for the Ninja Turtles game. So there were all sorts of prototypes all over the place that you could play. Bebo, GameWire Warrior, was playing her prototype, her expense report prototype, with various designers and various people, and getting some awesome feedback. I know lots of other designers got some great feedback from the convention, and it was it went really well. It was a really good time. Yeah, all of the prototypes that I played were really good games. I have high hopes for all of them. Sometimes you sit down and you play a prototype and you think to yourself, wow, I don't know if there's a game here. Like, this guy may be barking up the wrong tree, and nothing that I was shown was even close to that. Like, even the brand new stuff that they just, printed out was really well done, and really in line. Competition in game design world is fierce, guys. I walked away not having any of my games picked up. John has one game that is currently with a publisher for evaluation. But, all of my interactions were positive. All of the publishers who spoke with me, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all of your feedback. I'm going to be using it to keep making these games better. And I know that all of these games that I've talked about have potential for the future. So I'm going to keep working. You haven't seen the last of me. And I'm going to keep building new games. I got some inspiration from several of the things that I played, and we're gonna start working on those, just to keep the wheels turning and everything moving in the right direction. But that's it, guys. This is the last of my BGGCon videos. I had a blast at BGGCon. Again, I highly recommend it, whether you're going there just to play games or to play prototypes or to show off your prototypes or to pitch prototypes or to go to events or to wear a luchador mask and uh, contend for the Battling Tops Championship or just to see people. You'll get to actually spend time with people and talk to them and game with them and hang out with them, and that's what I love most about our hobby and about conventions in general. So it's a really, really good convention, guys. I highly recommend it. And that's it. So for all of my BGGCon exploits, this is Bearded Rogue signing out.